After 45 minutes of battling, whoever has the most points takes home the crown. Reigning from last year's Ashes to Ashes round 2, my man, Rock's Right.
Alright, what's going on? This is Day at Rock's Right, practicing, getting ready for Oregon. We're about a week away from this battle in Portland called Ashes to Ashes. So I'm just going through my training, you know, trying to get ready to make sure to try and win that battle. So it's pretty exciting to go practice, gotta, you know, go train, do the training, and hopefully we'll see how everything turns out. So just follow me through. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So for today's episode of 25 to Rock Right, I'm going to be taking you guys back to the hardest competition I ever took part in. If you go back actually to episode 2 of 25 to Rock Right, the lesson, there I talk about how I hit a slump at a certain point, and this is what happened after that episode. I refound myself in breaking. I started to push and be very strategic as to when I competed, how I prepared for these competitions. At this point in my breaking, I was very motivated, I was very active. We're talking around 2004, 2005, these years I was just building a rep. I was constantly going to events, I was putting my name on the line. I was just on this crazy winning streak of one-on-ones as well, and repping heavy with my crew Renegades. And the way that I was battling, I felt way more confident. So all that really pushed me to come up in the scene. It really gave me a voice, and I was just very, very consistent with it and very hungry, man. I just wanted to go for everybody's head. I was trying to get every title. Looking at some of the footage and the things that I was doing, you could see, I mean, back then, being in my early 20s, I wasn't really focusing on stamina as much. I already had stamina. I could almost combine any move from anywhere I wanted. I was at a prime in my breaking where I knew that I could do almost any move at any moment. And that was really comforting going into a battle like this. I mean, when I watch the footage of what I'm actually doing though, you can see I'm like trying to move again or finding new concepts and just having fun. And that was really a time when I was really developing a lot of different things in my dance and new concepts, mixing old with new as well. But it wasn't like it is today where like you focus specifically and you're like, you know, working out and doing all these other things. At that point, I didn't need to do that. I was already in shape, and that's what being in your prime is when you can just decide that you're gonna combine this move with that move on the spot and put it together as you feel. Up to this point, I was very active, but I hadn't had a battle where I was battling a lot of international heads with international experience. And this event was that. They had some really high level talent. That was a pretty stacked lineup for me. It definitely made that battle a lot harder. And as I'm battling, you know, when I'm there at this event, I go into it knowing that I have to make something happen. If I wasn't gonna win, I knew that I had to make something special go down. The battle starts. For me, I felt that I was in between the two hardest guys in the contest. I'm in between Brahim and Junior. So first I have to beat Brahim, and then I have to beat Junior to even accumulate 1 point or 2 points. And then after that, I still had Omar and Nathan and all these other guys as well. But to even get a point, it was quite difficult. And in these battles, you have to really keep your composure, because this is not gonna end in 3 rounds. Like, you have to keep going, and there's another 40 minutes to go or 30 something minutes to go, So in this moment, I remember that I got really frustrated, and I think it was after the 4th round. I felt that I did a lot to win the round, but the judges voted the other way. And I mean, that's a hard thing to do as well. They're judging you on the spot. So for me, I was like, I started to get frustrated and really almost lost my composure. So I just focused. I was like, all right, you know what? Let's just keep your head in the game, keep your head in the battle, and just come around and really strategize everything. So I come back around. I knew that at some point something had to change, because I had 2 points at that point. You're battling the people, you're battling time, and you're battling yourself to make sure that you can remember all the moves you got. I think it was my fifth time coming around. I won my 1 point. I go round 2, another point, then 3, another point, then 4, another point, then 5, another point, and then I get up to 6 points. And at this point, I'm already like burnt out. You can feel my head is pulsing. I didn't know what I could do, but I was trying to get that 7th straight win, and that's where I finally lost. But that put me in the lead, and that's the type of stuff that you have to prepare yourself for. You have to keep your composure, and these are the type of moments and the opportunities that once they're there, you got to take them. As a b-boy or b-girl, some stuff may not come around ever again. So I knew that this event, and whether I won or lost, I had to make a mark, and winning 6 straight was a highlight for me. And I think that it was a highlight for people that saw it, because to have that level of competition and to be able to win 6 straight points said a lot, So whether I won or lost after that, it didn't matter, because overall I would have won. I did take the lead. I got to 8 points, and then Omar came back and he scored 8 points as well. So we actually tied for 1st place that year. That is one of the hardest competitions I had competed in up to that point in my breaking, because the way that the layout was definitely one of the biggest challenges. Going into 2006, I'm coming in as a defending champion, ready or not. We're gonna go in there and try to repeat and do what I did the year before. But this time I hadn't really been, focusing for this event at all. I actually didn't even have it in mind, but I was very active. I had just won UK champs. I was still riding on that wave. This is pre the injury, but that year the lineup was just as crazy. For this one, I knew how it worked. I knew that it wasn't gonna be easy. This time, I don't know, everything felt different. It felt right. I noticed that I was cutting shorter rounds in 2006, but it was also another hard battle. And I think for me, why it is the hardest competition, or it was the hardest competition I took part in, is because the level of competition you're having to compete against, with the challenge of not repeating. This is the way that we learn as b-boys. This is the art of battling is for you to have a deep arsenal. You want to have as many moves and be able to smoke people. It's okay if you get beat one round. You got to be able to come back and keep chipping away and start taking them down one step at a time, because a battle is not just 1 or 2 rounds, even though many of us could do that in ciphers, and that's the modern era. For some people, once they prove their point, they're done. But sometimes other people take longer to prove their point. So for me, going into the 2nd year and trying to get the 2nd title in a row, man, that was a different challenge. And you know, having to be nonstop, I mean, you need the stamina, you need all this extra stuff besides just your moves. So I think that's what made this the hardest battle. This is something that as a b-boy you should strive to do in general, because you want to be very well-rounded and have as many moves as possible. So that's my advice for you guys. If you're trying to compete in 7 of Smokes or anything like that, go out there, battle people, test yourself, go for long rounds instead of doing 3-round, 4-round battles. Like, really battle somebody for a long period of time so you can see what your strengths and weaknesses are. This is part of the process of breaking and growth. That were the hardest competitions I took part in, and it was 2 in the same event actually, but it happened twice. And in 2006 I actually won again, and that year I accumulated 10 points. I think I did around 16 rounds that day. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned. Let me know what your hardest battle or competition you ever did was. Drop it in the comments. You guys have a good week. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.